Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about James Prananto, a crucial leader in Kopi Kenangan success. So firstly, I'm going to be introducing James Prananto before talking about the business itself as well as its impact and analyze any changes, business strategies that he might have implemented into the business as well as his role and find the conclusion for James Prananto as a leader. So James Prananto graduated from the University of Southern California, where he would meet his current business partner, Edward Tirtanata, where upon graduation, both of them would fly back to Jakarta, their hometown, and open up a small tea shop called Lewis and Carroll Tea before eventually finding Kopi Kenangan, opening up Kopi Kenangan instead. So while Edward Tirtana is the CEO, James Prananto is a COO. Now, the timeline for Kopi Kenangan from 2017 to 2024, which I will be highlighting on, is firstly, Kopi Kenangan gained traction from 2017 in Jakarta and eventually throughout Indonesia. After 4 good years, they achieved unicorn status or a Series C level of funding, which is when investors have invested and estimated to value Kopi Kenangan at about a billion US dollars. And some investors include A-list celebrities such as Jay-Z and Serena Williams. Consequently, in the following year, they have formed greater relationships with local suppliers of raw materials for making their coffee and local investors as well. And in 2022, they saw profitable gains from this venture. And this year, they are still pushing towards an IPO, but nothing has been concluded whether Kopi Kenangan will enter into the Indonesian stock market or not. James Prananto helped attract investors, utilize data analytics to determine prices and inventory management, as well as implementing the grab and go coffee model. So the grab and go coffee model essentially helped with the convenience and limited seating because the way Coffee Kananga was set up was so that similar to a small McDonald's chain or Pizza Hut delivery where people would usually grab their coffee and find another place to enjoy their product so the next customer can come in, which increases the potential for volume of sales and lowers the margin of cost because the fee for utilities or rent for setting up a shop maybe would become excruciatingly less excessive because of the small size since Kopi Kenangan does not focus on filling up as many customers as possible but rather selling as many coffees as possible, and this also limits the amount of extensive staff training and staff that Copenhagen needs to hire based off of James Pananto's judgment. Moreover, James Prananto also strategized on the locations for each shop, especially abroad in Southeast Asia, for example, the Philippines, Malaysia, or Singapore. He always picked in bustling city centers with a lot of congestion and traffic. So, because coffee would primarily be purchased by office workers or college students, for example, according to his research, and more likely people would be willing to buy a coffee from in more rather it would be more likely for someone that lives in a city to buy coffee rather than someone in a rural area. Fourth, James Prananto uses data for managing the inventory as well as the operations for the business by adjusting the inventory, for example, for flavors that are in demand or not. It can help them offset and counteract any costs that might be involved when selling a product that is not in demand, as well as they've also started expanding apart from coffees called Capital Ventures, which is entering into the food and beverage industry, which will help Kopi Kanangan tap into the food and beverage industry one day. And any analysis Jeff Pananto would have used would be competitive benchmarking and financial performance indicators such as profitability ratios or rate of inventory turnover. So James Parnato's importance in the company was essentially his brand identity for setting the brand identity for Kopi Kananga, which is diverse and accepting. And from his interview in Prestige magazine, he said that he wanted to include everyone and essentially not have one target audience, but rather have the entire mass market as his target audience. His values include sustainability and social responsibility, such as using eco-friendly materials like paper straws, as well as pricing, which he helped change and utilize. For example, in Starbucks, a latte would be the same price, just converted in a different currency throughout the world. But for Kopi Kenangan, they would alter it based on people's income. And James Manato's preferred leadership style is a democratic one. So employees are always more are have high morale and always contribute to James Manato's business decisions. So the picture you see on the left hand side is basically the Starbucks Tall Latte Index, which measures the median income for how affordable a latte is from each country a Starbucks is open. To tackle this, Kopi Kanangan adjusted the prices towards being making it affordable for wherever they open, as well as localizing the ingredients, since Starbucks may never change their ingredients or even the materials that they receive it from, which is why it is so expensive in countries that are further and further from the US because of distribution costs. For Kopi Kanangan, they use local costs to still remain profit. They use local suppliers and local materials to still remain profitable even in foreign countries. Now, my evaluation summary is James Prananto's leadership for Kopikanangan has a clear vision of focusing innovative retail strategies that have rarely been seen in the coffee industry, which has been blended with a traditional coffee culture and modern consumer preferences. So my short summary is that despite James Pranato's high risk due to diversification, he also helped change how coffee and other how coffee shops and other cafes approach new markets. Thank you. That is all.